and welcome back to the British Esports Show podcast here live from Insomnia. So we're now here with JohnPee.
Hello.
So how are you doing today?
I am I'm a little bit worse for wear after the pub quiz and a few antics last night, but no, I'm good. I love being in Insomnia, meeting new people, chatting to people like you guys. It's great. I always have fun here. So.
Right. So John, do you want to tell us a bit about what it is you do in the industry?
Yeah, so I'm a professional esports commentator, an analyst, as well as washed full-time streamer, I guess you could say. So yeah, basically, if you think of traditional sport, the likes of all the pundits on the football shows and the commentators on cricket, rugby or whatever, I do that, but over pixels on a screen, basically, on video games.
So how did you get started in esports?
Well, I used to play competitively back in Call of Duty. Back in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which feels like forever ago now, when I was like 14, 15 years old. And then I was like, okay, I'm probably not quite good enough to go pro. I dabbled around sort of like semi-pro level, decent level in competition, but I was never quite good enough to go pro, and I didn't have the time to commit 6 to 8 hours a day practicing and stuff like that. But I was like, okay, what else can I do that keeps me involved in gaming? Because gaming was a hobby at the time and it turned into a passion of mine. And then I had a friend of mine, his name was Silverback at the time. He was like a really big UK Call of Duty caster. And he was like, hey, well, we know that you sort of play around in this industry, in the scenes of the competitions that I commentate. Why don't you give commentating a go? So I did that, and from there I've never really looked back, and now I've worked for some of the biggest companies in esports, and you know, if I look back on it, I never would have thought that I managed to blag a career out of it. So
if for someone who's wanting to look at what you're doing as a potential career in the future, what are some like top tips that you have for some people who are wanting to kind of get involved?
Anytime anyone asks me about getting into the professional video game industry, whether it be commentary, content creation, partnerships management, they need to understand that this industry operates entirely differently to traditional 9 to 5 hours and 9 to 5 work. The esports industry never sleeps. It's honestly, with the time zones on companies, you're always full steam ahead. So I think you've got to know what you're getting yourself into and be prepared to put in the hard work and the grind. But if you're talking about specifics on how to get into esports hosting and casting, do what I did. I started off by voluntary Twitter tournaments, you know, organizations like you guys at British Esports who run your own tournaments and charity streams and stuff like that. Get involved, do a little bit of voluntary work, and then from there, when you feel, you know, I gave myself about 18 months to about a year and a half really. Then I thought, okay, I've got my quality to a standard now where I feel like I should be valued and paid for my work. And the first paid event I did was for a company called Hex Gaming, who I don't even think they're around anymore. And from there, I've just continued working my way up the stepping stones.
Perfect.
So what would you say has been your biggest highlight in your career so far?
It's hard to say. There's a few that are up there really that are trying to claim the top spot. I would say for like a sentimental value, probably my first ever live event, what I got paid to do. That was amazing. But if we're talking about like working with a big company, or my own achievement, it would be finally getting on VCT for VALORANT, which I did this year, and having my own worldwide TV show on Sky and worldwide TV. Like, it's crazy to think that millions of people watch my face around the world, or did watch my face around the world. So that would probably be being I don't want to say a worldwide superstar because I'm not yet, but you get the gist. You know, being worldwide on TV was pretty cool.
Yeah. So what about the games that you commentate and cast? Like, what is it that drew you to those games? If someone wanted to go to a particular game, is there anything that they should like, any sort of level of interest that they need to keep in mind?
It always helps if you have an interest in the field of game. We've got FPSs, MOBAs, you know, tactical based games, stuff like that. Me, like I said, I was a Call of Duty boy back in the day, so going into Call of Duty commentating is where I started. It was a natural transition. My game knowledge was already great because I'd played at a high enough level to have good game knowledge. And then from there, now being involved heavily in VALORANT and CSGO, the crossovers and transfers of the skills are quite similar. It's an FPS game, sort of the same sort of standard stuff across the games. So yeah, I would always say, if you're an FPS player, don't think you can jump straight into Dota or League of Legends. I just had to turn down an amazing contract for a League of Legends cast, which my bank account wasn't too happy about, but I was like, I played the game for like 3 months. I'm nowhere near a high enough level caster to do this project. So yeah, if you've got prior experience in that field of FPS, Battle Royale, MOBA, for the first year or so, I would say try and not stick to your comfort zone, but it certainly helps to have that experience and background in it.
Yeah.
And so I know you've touched on it briefly a little bit, giving some bits of advice here and there, but like, what's the biggest piece of advice you could give to someone getting started in esports?
Again, you're probably just touching on realizing how hard and competitive the industry is. If you talk to 90% of people that are professionals from players and that, they will probably have experienced their own sort of like mental health battles and stuff like that. And it's a real big mental burner being in esports. It really is, you know. Anytime kids say to me, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to do this, and I'm like, yeah, that's because you see a 10-minute video online of your favorite people. You don't see them sitting there in their rooms for 8 hours a day recording the same content to get one good funny clip out of it. So be prepared, like be mentally strong if you can, but at the end of the day, remember that you're doing it because you love it and you're having fun doing it. Don't lose the passion and the fun in it, because once you start losing, you know, it's the saying, if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life, right? And that's the saying that I try to keep in my head. Otherwise, it feels like not a chore, but it feels really hard on like a mental strain to keep up with everything. So just be positive, back yourself and being confident, and just have fun, because that's what us gamers love to do. We love to have fun in our spare time. So.
Yeah. Lovely. So just to finish us off then, we've got a quick little challenge for you.
Sure.
I'm going to give you 15 seconds.
Right.
In that 15 seconds, we're going to ask you to try and name as many esports titles as you can.
Game titles?
Game titles, yeah.
What's the who's top at the moment?
I think we've had 12.
12 so far, yeah.
Okay, but can I cheat by saying Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 1, or is Call of Duty just what, for example?
I think based on other people's answers, I think they've just said Call of Duty and they've left it there.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Oh. That's hard, right?
Okay,
So our
15.
participants this morning, we had 8 and we had 11.
Okay.
So you can beat those.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. Are you prepared and ready?
Sure.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Call of Duty, CSGO, Valorant, League of Legends, Dota, StarCraft, StarCraft 2, PUBG, Fortnite, Apex Legends, Nakara, which is a Nakara Blade Point, sorry.
3, 2, 1, done.
11.
Oh, that's close. That's not bad. 11's like a good number though.
My mind went blank after I said Nakara. I was trying to go through like FPSs, then MOBAs.
Yeah.
I could have said Heroes of the Storm. I could have said, I'm casting Overwatch this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so stupid.
No.
That's 2 more right there.
Oh, well, thank you very much for speaking to us today. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you enjoy the Insomnia content, please keep an eye out for more. There'll be plenty more coming, as interviews, little tidbits, anything else. Please do subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it as well. Thank you, John, once again, and thank you everyone for watching. See you later.
Thanks, guys.